Here we get into this. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Anarchy here. And we're going to be talking about Firebase Z. Arguably one of the goats of zombies. In my opinion, it's what carried Cold War for so long. And that's why I'm going to be talking about it a bit more. I know I've talked about it in the past when I reviewed the map. But yeah, just looking at the opening screen, you already see Firebase Z. Well, either show you one of two screens, this standard screen, or it will load up an overview for you to see how to play them. Kill zombies, earn resources. Collect resources, power, pack a punch, next. What it doesn't tell you is how powerful it is to the map. It does a great job. Start with the first thing that is literally right on your right. That's the rampage inducer. Zombies will rapidly appear and move faster through round 5. So until round 55, zombies will be a lot faster. This is always good to get like the first first round or two out of the way. I don't personally like to use it, but some people will argue it's better to use it. Alright. Okay. Let's just start with the aura of the starting room. It gives you a lot of Shangri-La vibes. Kind of Shangri-La, Shino-Numa vibes, which I don't like those maps. So if it was based on just that alone, I would hate this map. However, I actually enjoy waiting for the zombies. I don't often enjoy this on other maps because it feels very slow. But I enjoy the scenery on this map, and it's something that I don't think I often make note of. This map might have some of the best scenery in Cold War. So, there's that. But also, this map has a couple cool features. First of all, Quick Revive is in a really cool area, and it's kind of open. It has 2 separate ways to go here. This used to actually be a way that you could jump up there, right here, and actually do a jump. Where you'll be able to sprint, mantle that ledge, and you would be able to get to the teleporter by jumping back over there and up there. Unfortunately, that's not a thing anymore, so I just kind of like to do a couple different things when I hop into this map. Either I'll start out by doing what I'm doing here, staying in the starting area for a few rounds to get some points, or I'll do another method I like to do, which is to go for the Ray K, aka the Wonder Weapon, immediately. Either way, you can't argue this map as one of the top tier starting rooms. Yes, this map is a very campaign-like, multiplayer-like feel, and that does throw a lot of people off at first. But trust me, once you get to the higher rounds, you will not be saying that anymore, because yes, this map has that feel, yes, it acts that way, but you get to the higher rounds and you're gonna be like, this map is not like that at all. And the reason you're gonna say that is because you actually see actual zombies and the stuff. It's not just stuff taken from multiplayer. It's actually very unique. And only one zombie in this map. And the dogs on this map are very unique, actually. They spawn on a unique round. I don't think we've ever had dogs that spawn on like round 25 and up before only. The reason is, these dogs are very difficult to deal with, which is why they don't spawn on early rounds. So you have plenty of time to get prepared and get a pack-a-punch weapon before these dogs show up, because they are very vicious and they are not weak to regular weapons. So you have plenty of time to do that. Meanwhile, you'll probably want to go pick up some trials. Yes, they cost 500 points, and then later 1,000 after I think you've done your first trials, and then eventually 1,500, and you get the gist of it. It goes up by 500 each time. And yeah, the zombies on here, they can be some bastards. I'm not gonna lie. But don't be concerned about that. So yes, the zombies are pretty awful on this map. Yes, you do want to do these challenges early on, because you can get a horrible one like the one I'm doing right here, and it could just not be fun at all. So I'm making sure to try to stay alive for you guys. I feel like this gameplay is critical on that. But yeah, so you start out with a basically empty reward, right? The rarity tiers are common, rare, and epic and legendary. So unlike most things, there's not 5 reward tiers, there's actually a few. And these, usually they will give you a task based on the current area that you are at on the map most of the time. Now this does change up every once in a while, but most of the time you're going to get a task where you are in that area of the map, where you will be doing a quest in that area, basically. A tiny little quest, similar to like an Easter egg, but not. And you're just doing a little challenge here. So it's kind of like the Origins challenges, if you're familiar with those from BO2, where you're just killing zombies, getting headshots. But this is a little bit different. It wants you to get stuff like consecutive headshots, kill enemies in locations, stay in areas for as long as possible, get, crouch kills. There's always something unique about it, and it allows you to obtain some cool stuff. I think the blue rewards are usually points. The green rewards is usually a power-up of some kind. The purple rewards, usually points and a power-up or something like that. Legendary is usually a perk can of some kind. I don't think there's weapon upgrades, but there is a perk can, and there's other stuff in there that you can obtain, and that's important to note about. So there is a possibility of getting the map wonder weapon by doing these challenges. It's a really odd thing for it to give you that, but it does do it, believe it or not, and it's actually super cool. So In order to complete this current challenge and upgrade my tier, I'm going to need to be able to go and rebuild some barricades at the starting area. Unfortunately, I'm afraid a mimic is going to spawn in, like yes it is. Mimics are the bane of the map. They're basically what makes everybody think this map is so trash, but I'm going to change you guys' minds, at least a couple of you, and you're going to think a little bit differently about it. So, isn't it crazy that so early on you actually could make a lot of progress in this and potentially get a legendary weapon? So, it is crazy to me that you can do this, but kind of just a feature that was built into Firebase that you should be able to do these challenges out here. Now, oftentimes this first mimic becomes the bane of my existence because I'll be trying to do something and then I get hit by the first mimic. You're going to see we do actually opt to fail this challenge. Now, why did I fail this challenge, you may be wondering. Well, that's just because sometimes it gets way too convoluted on this map and there just becomes a whole problem with trains of enemies spawning in the spawn area. Which means if you get that rebuild barrier challenge, you could get a little mad because that one is kind of different. However, kill enemies within close range. Use your knife, especially if you've upgraded it as a weapon tier. It will help you if you get it to tier 5. Because it's going to increase your melee damage. Yeah, screw melee perks, dude. Who needs those around here? Anyway, I'm glad this kid didn't add melee macchiato into this game. Like, so you can also get something cool, like a pack-a-punch weapon out of here, which I forgot to mention. You can get a free pack-a-punch weapon. You could get a fire sale. Yeah, this is pretty crazy if you ask me. You could get a pack-a-punch weapon out of here, obviously. We didn't get anything good out of there, but as you can see, very easy to get some good points really early on in here. And you know, it's not difficult. So, as you're kind of moving through, you know, we're on the commons here again, right? So let me just try and show what that gives you. So, commons here, you can get salvage or something stupid, right? But yeah, let me open up the map and guide you guys through how to kind of turn on Pack-a-Punch, because I bet you're wondering about that. So, as you open doors, guide yourself through the map, you know, you're going to encounter these Aether reactors. And what these do, they'll be in 3 sections of the map, as you can see on my little mini-map. And what these little things will do is they have these spears that you need to protect. Don't worry, if they get hit one time, it's no big deal. However, your goal is to kill as many zombies in that spear area as possible. There is 3 of them, so it can be hard to protect them all at once. You just want to go and dispatch all zombies in that area if you can find, and eventually something's going to happen that's really cool in a second here, and you'll see it yourself. You'll get Aether reactor points. I believe you actually get more points for double points. You get double the 1,000, which is really cool to get 2,000 points from the reactor, right? Because you're literally basically making all those points that you just got. Yeah, so while I still have the double points, obviously I won't be able to do another reactor at this moment. I'm still going to go for some melee kills while I still had that double points. Fortunately, this is not like Black Ops 6, so you cannot just melee this out of enemies. But you can pick up equipment. So yeah, turn on the power in this map, you guys are just going to, it's only been 15 minutes, you guys are just going to go do this. And this is why I think this map is goated. A lot of people say Firebase, so bad. If it was so bad, would somebody like me but have been able to actually achieve getting Firebase Z Master, a calling card that requires you to do specific things on Firebase Z. On top of that, getting the Firebase Z Easter egg calling card that some people say is literally unobtainable, but I have gotten it myself. Not to mention, this has one of the best end cutscenes, which makes up for all hate that this map gets, in my opinion, because you have to be careful because, yes, this can end rounds. If you don't have a lot of zombies in that round, it will end the round and go to the next one in the middle of this. It's just interesting enough. So on top of all of this, you know, there's also mystery boxes and all the normal stuff in maps, which makes it pretty good. There's also a lot of viable weapons that change tiers as you progress rounds, and this is something that they took into BO6, and I think it's a very good feature that they put in there. But also, they got it from maps like this in B Machine, and I'm very thankful for that. So, I do still have a lot of videos to get to, you know, a lot of other Call of Duty videos, but I wanted to make sure that I kind of just go out there and talk about Firebase because there's a lot of cool stuff. So there's also these different areas in the different parts of the map where you can receive transmissions for intel. Done all of them, it'll say no new transmissions like me, but if you haven't, then it will just say the generic old crap. Now, of course, you do want to get out of here before you end up getting to round 16, because that's when the Mangler comes, and you will need a pack-punch weapon to take him out. However, once you've fully powered this map, you're actually going to, and ignore the fact that I haven't fully powered it, and you're actually going to go to the main teleporter, back to the village where the pack-punch machine rests, and it will be powered up. Granted, it is really messed up and destroyed, so you'll obviously have to fix that, but as you guys can see, I should not even have this map, but this map is so easy that you just hit the point. And yes, I said easy. I understand the hardcore lovers ain't gonna love this map that much. I think personally that this is a hardcore zombies map to some extent. Now, I don't think that I could say round 1 through like 15 is hard by any means. I think those are the setup rounds, and I think those are incredibly easy actually. However, one map I will make a case for being super difficult is Marauder Totem, and it's easy. However, if you're me, this map that I'm playing right here is the epitome of awesomeness, okay? And yes, people are mad that this map has teleporters. Guess what else has teleporters? Like every other map. Specifically, Forsaken has a lot of teleporters. So, if you want to give a map flack for that, make sure you're also applying that to other maps and not just saying, oh, well, this map gets that because trash. Like, so, I like to believe Firebase is really easy round 1 through 15. There's occasionally you'll go down early on, but it doesn't happen all that often. I think it's more of like you go down on around like 10 or 11 like a couple times. I mean, it's not crazy. Pack-a-Punch camos go to starting at yellow, then green, then red, and if you want my honest opinion, or not red, then green, then purple, if you want my honest opinion, I think these have the best Pack-a-Punch camos in Cold War. Now, you could say that there's other maps that have good ones. Obviously, I haven't seen them in a minute. Big Mettler has some more raid ones, but I don't like the map. we'll get into that in like a separate video. Why I don't like it. Why I hate it. And it's gonna be a long list. But yeah, what's really good right here is you just sit in the spot. Firebase maneuverability. And this map has a lot of ledges. Also, Ring of Fire is super good on this map. Matters the engagement. Ring of Fire is scout. And I do want to show the Mangors before I stop the video, obviously, because they are absolute fire. And we'll get to them soon. But also, there's like really good scenery in these rooms. It really does feel like that this was actually a base, like a military base, and it was like a secret project. It really does have that atmosphere. I will say that. It has the atmosphere of a secret military base. It's there. I mean, I know people don't like to admit that. They think that's just completely false, but that does have the atmosphere of a military base, and it's really good at that. Like, I don't think people understand it. I go back to this game like once a year, literally, because if not more. Like, I think I've gone back to this a couple times. That's because I just want to grind out levels and enjoy playing zombies. But aside from all this stuff I've already mentioned, yes, there are the mimics. There are mimics, which people absolutely hate. I'm actually not against them. I think that they're a great idea. And what mimics are, of course, are those weird things that were attacking us earlier. Yes, they are reintroduced in Black Ops 6, but I don't like their reintroduction. And I'll explain why right now. Because these mimics on here are simple, right? They don't tell you where they're at. They're just a random piece of dropped equipment. Just pick up and absolutely freak out because the mimic comes out of it. It's happened to me so often. But also, I don't get the jump scare aspect anymore. I'm fine with that. You just shoot them in the eye and they die pretty fast. And the eye stands out, they reach a point, and after that, the mimics don't become much of a threat after you pack a punch and have Ring of Fire, because you are nearly unstoppable. Like, the mimics literally become a joke. Now I just need 45. So, mimics become a joke, and the map becomes incredibly easy. But at the same time, once you get to around 14, 15, 16, it becomes extremely harder. Like, the map does not go easy on you. And occasionally, you do get absolutely rocked on this map in this spot. Now, if you maintain this spot very well, then you won't have the issue being absolutely rocked. However, I'm just going to say this, whoever you are, you're going to get hit. There's no guarantee of not getting hit by zombies. But like, Act 3 right there. And then you still have to reload that thing. When do I go for first? Well, my first recommendation is go for at least a 2-base jug and stamina up. Going first on this map. This map isn't as convoluted as the other maps, meaning that you're really able to get first right early on. And literally right after you turn on power, which is a little bit overpowered, yes, because of some of the perks that are in the game. However, I think this next part is my favorite part about Firebase. So, every 5 rounds, on rounds 15, I believe 20, and 30, you will get a either a defense. And I believe every 10 rounds after that, you will get another one. Now, if you haven't super pack-a-punched, once you get to round 30, you might be screwed. But I just want you all to know, you get a free score streak on this map to basically take out zombies. This is also part of a lot of the calling cards in this game. You take them out with these score streaks. I'll just tell you right now, it's pretty god tier. Check out on round 15. But that will all change. Now, when you finish an assault wave, which will be, of course, like I said, 15, I believe, 20, and 30, you will get a max ammo plus a carpenter, which includes some extra points with it. Now, my personal thoughts on this map is armor's easy to get, right? So that's really fun. Armor's fun. Once you get to the Mangler, you might not be out of it. But granted, you have elemental pop or an element, the Mangler isn't actually as big of a problem. As you can see, I don't have that. I would probably have it. So here's the Mangler. Yep, that same thing that is in the zombies. Does absolutely refuse to walk up the stairs. Now, sometimes it's pretty easy to kill if you just aim for his head and knock off his helmet, like some other zombie guy like that, I don't know who it was, but if you knock off his helmet, he takes a lot of damage very fast, and that just makes him really easy to defeat. Now, once you get to round 30, you're going to encounter one of my best friends, Orda. Let's talk about how to dispatch Orda. So, to dispatch Orda, you will need to use what I like to call SF. So, what you do is you spam headshots on Orda. Orda will sometimes open up his head and allow you to get a so that will be very important. But you have to be careful right here for crawlers. If you happen, they can be your death. Not that you probably want them to be your death, but they can. That's why I don't like crawlers. This map is extremely fun to play, and it honestly feels like a survival map at times, because the zombies almost feel like they do not stop spawning. But it's a fun map. Like, I legitimately have so much fun in this map, and looking at this map, having a Pack 3 weapon by round 18 is insane. To even think that that would be possible, right? Well, it is possible, and usually while I just enjoy the absolute beauty of Pack-a-Punch 3, it looks monstrous. Like, granted, the Manglers do become tanks on certain rounds, and maneuverability becomes the #1 theme of this map. How well you can maneuver. And you'll be using teleporters a lot, yes. A lot of people have kind of voiced their concern about teleporting, and I'm like, teleporters are fun in this map. I know some zombie maps make teleporters like constant that you have to do, but you don't have to use a teleporter. They are fully optional on this map, and you can absolutely run around with an upgraded weapon attempting to kill the zombies. Sure, it won't be as fast, but you can absolutely do that. You can absolutely get some base perks and still last out very long without moving from this area. So, I do also want to mention the different types of zombies. So, for the zombies in this map, you have zombies with helmets, zombies with barrettes, or like these commander hats. You also have burnt zombies, which are corpses that are reanimating from the helicopter and vehicle explosions. And you have those corpses as well that will attack you. But also, you have a specific type of dog that's exclusive to the machine that is present here. There's the Easter egg, the Plague Hound. You also have Hellhounds on this map, making this the only map with two different types of dogs in Cold War. On top of that, as simple as this is, there's the Mangler and the Mimics, which are the special and the elite zombies for the map. And then boss zombie Orda. So there is a lot of zombies. The fact you get to fight a version of the boss at round 30 by default is crazy, despite the fact that you're probably not going to get there very fast. It's going to take you over an hour, but that's fine. The fastest way to do it would actually be this strategy I'm showing right now. The Manglers can be extremely fun given you're prepared. If you're not prepared for a Mangler, you don't have ammo left, you don't have a back-punch weapon. Manglers can be a pain in the arm. However, I'm just going to say right now, I think Firebase Z is really good. Let's go around the map and kind of explore the different areas. So, we have the planning offices, which is where I usually camp. We have over here is an open lot, some sort of a rocket control facility down here. It's pretty cool in the engineering. Obviously, there's an assault wave. Let me go complete that, and I'll discuss the remaining areas of the map. A lot of this map is vital for the Easter egg, which is why it is so important, and all of the areas are so important, because all the areas have basically something in them, probably besides part of military command, the spawn on floor specifically, but almost every area of the map has a functionality of some kind. You won't officially get Orda until round 30, which is super cool. And it doesn't always seem to be the same with where the assault waves are. Like, usually they're in different places. Sometimes they can be in two different areas. That's what we did, right? Heavy zombies are back, and armored zombies too. Armored zombies will drop you armor, which makes this map's replayability so high. And there's also score streaks and everything really to accompany you that you're gonna need on a map like this. That's what makes this map so playable. It offers something that fans don't often see in Call of Duty maps. A map that is also playable, survivable, and a map that actually has a really cool mechanic in the fire control units, and then retreating back to the Aether reactor, which can be destroyed by either zombies or Orda himself during these rounds, which is super cool. Not only that, it has the first official boss you can just actively fight. That specific boss on any of those rounds. Not to mention that this dude can literally spawn in Outbreak as well. Like, Firebase was so iconic. On top of that, it had a spawn room perk machine where you could buy all perks, aka Der Wonder Fizz, in the starting room of the map. Meaning all you had to do was teleport back and use your frickin' awesomeness to go back to the start of the map. Which is my favorite thing about Firebase. Not only that, camo grinding is made fun. Honestly, I have never had that much enjoyment when it comes to zombies camo grinding, and I feel like this map makes it very unique with how it does it. It does it in a unique way. We don't often see these types of maps. We don't often see a map that's basically a multiplayer map developed into a zombie map. Now, granted, Black Ops 1 had this issue where it did that a lot with some of the maps. However, the later installments of Black Ops 1's maps were often not multiplayer maps originally, which is a good thing, like Shangri-La and Moon, for example. Or not Moon, Shangri-La and Call of the Dead, which I do believe Call of the Dead was actually the third map, but get my point. This map is convoluted, complex, but also extremely simple to pick up and learn. And that's the thing. If somebody's standard to pick up and learn this, that makes the map ever more difficult. It's not a hardcore exclusive map. It's a map where people can pick it up, learn it, and understand it easily the first time they play it. Yes, the map does require some skill in the higher rounds to survive so long. Even going for a high round record, you'll be playing this for a while. This map is fun. It has a lot of good spots for sitting out the zombies, you know. But also, like, the areas in the map are super cool. Like, you have these 3 power areas, you know, mission control, military command, and obviously the other little silo area over there. And it's split off into 3 sections, which is super cool. Like, the way that that's done. Not only that, Tombstone, Jug, Stamina Up, and Speed Cola are within the first few rooms of the map after teleporting. Not to mention, it literally Quick Revive is in the starting room, literally 1 room away. And there's a Rampage Inducer, which is good for the hardcore players. This map is not only good for core players, it's for hardcore players too. If you're into being a hardcore player, if you're into kind of like the hardcore player stuff, then you're going to be into this map. This map has a lot of areas. It has a lot of camping areas. It has a lot of places to go. It has a lot of activities to do. Granted, there's not like 5,006 Easter eggs, obviously, but this map is just incredibly fun to do. There's even a starting room. I don't know. So there's a starting room Easter egg for Mr. Peaks, aka the bunny rabbit dude. It's in the mystery box. So there is a Mr. Peaks coffin dance on this map that can give you a free jug and a free weapon, potentially legendary, right off rip, making this map honestly one of the best maps Cold War has to offer. I think if we were to go back to like my map selection in terms of like top maps, I think this is my favorite one. I think that, yeah, Team Machine definitely takes second or third in that regard. Probably second, while Forsaken probably takes third. But that's not to underrate these other maps. I will do another review series where I go a lot more in depth on these maps and discuss what I really like about these maps. What I mainly like about Firebase is it's really good for leveling up your weapons, and it's really good for getting those tough zombie camos without stressing yourself out, I feel like the map achieves this high facility of success. Granted, this isn't Black Ops 6. This map might have been even better on Black Ops 6, honestly. But I'm just saying that, yeah, for the Black Ops Cold War engine, this is probably a top tier map, honestly. Like, in terms of so when you run out of ammo on this map, there's a couple things to do. But if you don't have ammo, main thing you're going to want to do is go get some ammo. Boss zombies don't really stand a chance if you pack your weapons. Mimics can be kind of dumb occasionally, making mistakes. And this can often allow you to take advantage of the mistakes. Not only that, there's occasionally times where I don't find myself buying stamina until past round 20 because the zombies on this map just aren't technically that fast. I mean, and this is a good thing. Don't get me wrong, this is a really good thing. Due to the zombies not being incredibly fast, it makes for a pretty fun pacing to play around with. At first, you're playing the map to mostly get cameras, bro. But then you're just playing the map to have fun, honestly, and just like get higher on the leaderboards. This map is really good if you just want to have a nice time in zombies. A lot of maps offer a really difficult playing field, and I feel like a map like this is very... There's the hellhounds that I was talking about earlier. A map like this is very important to kind of discuss and to kind of understand why we hate it. I feel like the reason people hate this is it's a military map turned into a zombies map, aka a multiplayer style map turned into a zombie map. And people just don't like those types of maps. They think that those are very like pathetic and shouldn't exist. And I am not one of them, honestly. I think that this map had to exist. If this map doesn't exist, I feel like Cold War just died. It is the map that we got in between Mauer and this map really cooks in my opinion. In my opinion, it is top tier map. I do believe that the Cold War engine limits it slightly, but even then, you know, doing the same rounds over and over past round 30 in here, yes, that gets a little boring, but honestly, it's fun. You'll have so many points you won't even know what to do with them. I mean, I got a score of over 200,000 before, and I hadn't even hit round 30, I don't think. The game gets really fun, and it's playable, honestly, up until around 30 most games. I even play past round 30 occasionally because it's that good. I have played to round 60 before when I just had like 7 hours on my hand or whatever. Like, if you really have a lot of time, you can just play and play and play, or you can play and play and play and pause, and then play and play and play again. Like, it's really good. The map is really fun. I feel like the game's been engineered better to work with games, stuff like Twitch, and just... I feel like this game honestly should be on Game Pass. I feel like if it was, it would be a top launch, and it would be one of the best games on Game Pass. Honestly, if it was there, because this should be the next Call of Duty to get added to Game Pass. Granted, I don't think it will be, of course, but I'm just saying, like, the amount of fun that is to be had in a zombies game. I think people still play this map, despite the hate that I've seen online during controversies about how bad this map is supposed to be. All I hear about is people playing this map so often, saying it is one of the best zombie maps. It's currently out. Not only that, there's a certain feature in Cold War that I like that's not in a lot of other Call of Duty zombie experience. And that is the feature of being able to shoot a zombie and them slightly moving. This feature really makes zombies whole. I know a lot of people are going to be like, what are you talking about? Yes, this feature is one of my favorite features. It's super broken. And I find myself just enjoying zombies more than lately, and it's just like, it is so good. Here I go to revive. I don't know, I really like it. I feel like Call of Duty Zombies is like an all-time high right now, and it is just at the peak of zombies. There is nothing more to be said about this map, because literally I think I have said everything. Besides the fact that maybe the Easter egg is one of the best zombies Easter eggs and endings to ever enter the franchise, I think I've pretty much said all I need to say about this map today. Like, scenery is beautiful. Tell me if I missed anything. Scenery is beautiful. The amount of perks that are acquirable on this map is absolutely stunning. And I can't say that I haven't gotten all the perks at least one time on this map, because I have. I've gotten all the perks at least 5 times on this map, because it's how much I love this map. This map is really good, combined with the Cold War's perk system, that they have the tier 5 perks and the tier 5 weapon upgrades make this map absolutely glorious to play. And when you have everything upgraded, it's, I mean, literally it is. It's the easiest map, in my opinion, to get crystals on, because you're just over there, you're just enjoying the map. As you can see, I usually go 20 to 30 rounds on this map, because it's literally so fun. I find myself playing to round 20 most of the time, just so I can advance on this map, just so I can make progress on this map. And I find myself playing to high rounds, because literally, if you play past round 20, you get like a 10,000 XP match bonus, which is absolutely insane. On top of, you get weapon levels easily here. You get 3 to 5 weapon levels a game, depending on the round. Like, on those later rounds, you get so many weapon levels. You get flawless crystals every, I think, 10 rounds after 15. I think you get one at 25 and 35 and 45 and 55. But the point is, this shit is so fun. You're often gonna be getting camos for weapons that you don't even use that often. So I have almost achieved gold on this gun. And literally levels is all that's holding me back. So I just want to say before I head out, like, this map is so good. I genuinely enjoy it with the stuff that I have in game. And like, with the weapons, the field upgrades, ammo mods, etc., if you play this with Ring of Fire, you are gonna love this map. I can already tell you that just by like me playing the map. You're gonna honestly love this map. Granted, with some weapons, you're gonna want to have certain things. And I will give you guys some ammo mod recommendations for Firebase in case you're considering playing it. Napalm Burst is really good, Dead Wire is really good, and so is Shatter Blast. Those are my recommendations personally, but there is calling cards for every single one of those ammo mods, as well as every single one of the individual field upgrades, I believe. So definitely go for that. Granted, tier 5 does require 5 flawless crystals, which takes a extremely long time to obtain. Now, now that I've discussed like the zombie variation, the map, the just the everything, I am gonna say one final note, and that is do not grind your RPG camos on this map. This map has a very bad terrain in terms of RPG camo grinding, and unless you're using PhD Flopper, do not attempt to grind your RPG camos. You will blow yourself up and lose the game quite often. And if not, you'll probably get trapped in a corner. This map has a lot of bad spots, but a lot of good spots. Yeah, I know I've said that a lot today, but like, you guys will love this map, trust me. You're gonna enjoy it, and I enjoyed having you guys for this video, man. So you guys can watch it and honestly experience what I love about Firebase. I know other people have their opinions. I know they say Firebase either they'll say Firebase sucks or Firebase is awesome, and I know a lot of people hate the Easter egg, but like it's not all about the Easter egg. It's about enjoyment for me most of all. And I don't often care about the Easter egg too much. I mean, I did with a lot of the maps in this game, and I did finish 3 of the 4 Easter eggs. But I believe I actually finished 4 of the 5. I think I did do the Outbreak Easter egg too. But like, my point behind all this is like, dude, literally there's 5 Easter eggs. And 4 of them are Easter egg main quests. The other one's just like a little side quest kind of. I am going to show you guys the calling card for completing the Easter egg, so if you don't want to see that, look away now. Whilst I pull it up, guys, I'm going to pull it up in about 5 seconds. So, go to zombies. The calling card you get. This is a pretty cool one, by the way. Anyway, it is a special Dark Ops calling card. It's just really difficult to find it, apparently. So I'm going to go to challenges instead. If you haven't seen it, guys, I recommend just looking away. So it is under the Dark Ops calling cards. Anyway, here is the really cool fucking calling card. Granted, it looks very demonic. So if you're not into that, I understand that myself. Our friend is not. But complete the main quest in Forsaken, complete the main quest in Firebase, complete the main quest in D Machine. There's really only one Dark Ops that I do not have, which is probably like right here or something, I imagine. But you know, there's 20 Dark Ops, and I have what? 6 of 20, which is actually quite a bit. I mean, so 6 out of 20, which is a lot for a generic player to have. Um, but also, like, just looking at my challenges, there's still stuff I haven't done for zombies. Granted, I finished boot camp. Got some of the D machine, not all of them. But I did finish the boot camp. I am on the way to finishing the Grizzled Veteran. Battle Hardened, I am done with literally 2 of these, which are not easy challenges, by the way. Same with Elementalists, these are pretty difficult. Literally 1,000 enemies frozen and 1,000 enemies that are on fire. Gotta get that one, and I still need to get this one. But like Firebase report, 100%, dude. Which Firebase is pretty easy. It's mostly intel. They the reactors in every area in one game. And I think that includes the Easter egg. But like my point behind all this, guys, my point behind my almost near 60-minute tangent that I'm going on is this is a really good map, and I'm hoping more people look at it and come back and give it a chance because honestly, it's honestly not that bad. Maybe one day I'll review something like Onslaught or Dead Ops Arcade, which is very historic, or Outbreak potentially. Maybe one day, maybe I'll go through those. Maybe I'll review Cranked. I mean, as a game mode, who knows? But the one opinion that I've had has never changed. I think Firebase is definitely in the top 5 of all time in enjoyability and replayability, and I think it is definitely my second favorite map, of course. Or as far as the tier list goes, my second top map. I think the only one that beats it is the greatest zombies map of all time, aka Origins, and it happens to be, I think, because this map doesn't have its own like Easter egg song or stuff like that that makes it unique. There's a lot of Easter egg stuff missing that was, if it was in the game, would make Firebase like absolutely god tier. But thank you guys for tuning into what I think has been my third review of Firebase Z. This one was very in depth. I don't think I've ever gone so in depth to talk about good ammo mods, good field upgrades, the scenery, or any of that stuff really. I don't think I've also discussed all the enemies on the map. I think initially when I discussed this map, I just discussed like saying this map was amazing. This is one of the best maps in Cold War, or the best map in Cold War, and I think that's what I argued with before, and it just wasn't very forward. It was like a 30-minute video, and it just didn't have what it needed in it to show you guys that the map is fun. And to show you guys that I enjoyed even more, when I go down, I don't even get mad on this map. Like, I honestly enjoy the fact I go down because I played 20 plus rounds of zombies and I went down. It actually feels like Call of Duty Zombies in that respective. Granted, stuff like exfils on higher rounds can be near impossible, or on the later rounds like 60 and shit can be really difficult and upped a lot unless you have a near unstoppable weapon. But trust me, if there's any map you guys will enjoy, it's this one. And with that, I will literally catch you guys later. And it's Anarchy out.